All right, step 3. This one is maybe the most technologically advanced. I would say technologically exciting, but honestly, I think once you've used the brake and drivetrain cleaner and you see it turn red and just all that stuff drip away, that may be a more exciting product to use. But technologically, this product is super exciting to me. So we're step 3, Ultimate Graphene Wax. We call this step Seal. And the way to think about it, and Michelle's made us this killer graphic here, the way to think about it is a lot like the way we talk about the tungsten disulfide additive in our chain lubricants, right? So, when we launched that product, that I think was a pretty new way of looking at things, that we've actually looked at the micro imperfections of the chain surface and then have optimized the tungsten disulfide to fit in there, essentially filling those voids, right? And that way, when the chain is wearing against itself, you're actually getting tungsten disulfide on tungsten disulfide. And of course, as we all know now, you look at the zero friction cycling data, we pretty much dominate it with literally 0.0% wear in certain blocks because the technology works. What we've done here is a similar thing, but we're doing it with a substance called graphene. And what is graphene? Graphene is so cool. This was discovered really, like 12, 14 years ago, not that long ago, at the University of Manchester. And it is essentially a form of carbon molecule that is only 1 atom thick. And it looks something like this. So you think of like diamond, but at only 1 atom of thickness. And so there are companies that are able to make, graphene sheets. I think it's going to be the future of cell phone screens when we can make it large enough. It is almost the hardness of diamond. It has just incredible property, pretty much anything you can think of. It's stronger than anything. It conducts electricity better than anything. It conducts heat better than anything. It's really a magical substance, but it's super expensive to make, and it's really hard to make well. Even the best graphenes right now tend to come out as maybe a couple atoms thick, not the single atom ideal. The thinner the sheets of graphene, the more expensive it gets. And we talked in our launch video about this. This little bottle is something like $500, and companies will do your Bugatti or your race car or your Bentley, or they would do your Honda if you had the money, but $3,000 to $5,000 to coat a car with this. It is unbelievable work. We actually tried doing it on some bicycles. It's a major hassle. You apply a section, buff that section for 10 to 15 minutes, apply another small section, buff for 10 to 15 minutes. It just wasn't a good experience. So we went back with our formulator, and we really wanted to look at how do we get graphene, onto the paint surface in the way that we want, in as easy a fashion as possible. And what we came up with was Seal. So this guy is both a wax, and you can sort of see at the bottom, he's only about 0.5% graphene, whereas the really expensive stuff can be up in the 7-8% graphene range. He has the most graphene he can have and still be a liquid that's sprayable. But that really makes life so much easier for you. So you're going to shake it up really good, get all that graphene into suspension, and then apply this really by spraying it right onto a microfiber towel and buffing it into the paint. The beauty of this product is that it can be applied over itself. And so the more coats you want to put down, the more protected the paint is going to be. Essentially you're just building up layer upon layer of those graphene sheets, at their 1 atom thickness, and you're filling in all of the little imperfections in the paint. So the paint surface becomes much smoother, which means it's much lower surface area. It also changes the surface tension of the paint relative to water. So water beads up with a much sharper, steeper angle, and runs off much more easily because the water just doesn't have much to hold on to on the surface. So this quite literally means that your bike is getting less dirty as you are riding it, because there's just fewer nooks and crannies for the dirt to stick. Water won't stick to it as much, and water that's coming off the road has dirt and grime and grit and all sorts of crap in it. And so if that water doesn't stick, the crap that's in the water doesn't stick. So this really is building up an amazing protective layer on your paint. Now, how protective is it? So we have an ASTM test called pencil hardness, and it looks something like this. It is different hardnesses of pencil, and they run it across the surface on a little trolley to see how hard the pencil has to be before the surface will scratch. You know, your paint as the bike comes to you is probably somewhere around a 4, maybe a 3, but 3 to 4. Something like a carnauba wax, right? Like we all grew up with a turtle wax or one of those, you know, even a more expensive like a Zymol type product, might get you into the range of 6, maybe a 7 if it's got some additives in it. Traditional ceramic coatings, which are silicon dioxide, SiO2, traditional ceramics can get you up to an 8H. Graphene in this form gets us to a 9H. That is the second hardest. It's really the hardest in the test as the test was originally formulated. There is now a 10H pencil, and this will pass a 10H pencil test. And you know, for $3,000 to $5,000 to have it professionally done, or $500 for the little bottle, you know, it better. This guy will get you to the 9H level, which I think is pretty impressive for as easy as it is to use. So, 9H hardness, cleaner bikes. The bike looks beautiful. This stuff will take out or eliminate swirl marks, but it also makes your paint less likely to swirl mark in the future. Makes the bike easier to clean. Yeah, really pretty amazing stuff. And it smells like margarita, which was Michelle's idea. So thank you, Michelle. Don't drink it. Anyway, there you go. Step 3, seal. Go ride your bike.